Hi, I'm Monique Barrow. Welcome to my Preventive Health. This is my home away from home kitchen, and I'm glad that you guys can join us today. All right, so I have some fun stuff planned today. We're going to start off with a cabbage slaw made with an applesauce vinaigrette. It's delicious and it's fun, quick, and easy. And that's what we're going to concentrate on, and not forgetting health. All right, and also I have a spaghetti squash here roasting in the oven. That's going to be our soup today. It's spring, so we want to make it tasty and fun. All right, I already have it roasting. It usually takes 20 minutes for a spaghetti squash to roast by the half. I have salt and pepper and olive oil. That's all we basically need to get it started. Welcome back. I'm Monique Barrow. Welcome back to my home away from home kitchen for my Preventive Health. We're going to start with our applesauce ginger vinaigrette for our cabbage slaw. Okay, I'm going to move this pot out the way because I want you guys to get this. This is really fun and easy. All right, so now we have our bowl, our mixing bowl. We're going to get some applesauce. This is about a cup of applesauce. We're going to pour it into our bowl. So what we're going to do next is get the olive oil. We're going to put at least 4 tablespoons of olive oil in here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. The olive oil basically is a binder for the vinaigrette. It makes it easier and lighter in taste, and we're using a vinaigrette, so you don't want it to be too acidic. Okay, this is my apple cider vinegar. It smells really good. We're going to use, again, 4 tablespoons of that. We're going to use equal parts today just because we have the applesauce and it's really thick. And then a little bit of white distilled vinegar. So you can just do a little drizzle of that. That's okay. All right, we're going to add a pinch of salt. A little bit of black pepper. I love fresh cracked black pepper because it's very, very tasty. We're going to walk over here where I have my cabbage slaw already done. So it's already here, just waiting for me to get started. We're going to get a whisk and we're going to start mixing. All right, so the reason why I chose this, again, is because it's springtime. Applesauce is pretty cheap and it already has a really, really good flavor. This is original applesauce. You don't want to get any with sweeteners and sugar. It's just all natural applesauce, and it's very, very tasty. You can get it from your farmer's market, Whole Foods market, everyday supermarket. It's about $3 for a pint of it, so it's pretty much good. All right, so we're going to put that over there. Let's make a little taste and see if it needs any adjusting. That's good. So I'm going to just add a little bit more olive oil to take away from the vinegar contacts of the sauce, and that's about it. All right, we're going to whisk that in again. Good. Okay, we have our apple ginger vinaigrette finish. All right, what now we're going to do is use the cabbage slaw and put it in here. All right, so we put the cabbage slaw in there and we're going to fold it in very nice. Mix it in very good. And then after that, we're going to add our fresh ginger. The reason why I did not add the ginger before is because I wanted to get the full taste of the vinaigrette just to know, how much ginger we may or may not need to add. All right, so this is our slaw right here. It looks very nice. All right, and then we're going to get a fresh piece of ginger. You don't necessarily need to peel the ginger. I prefer not to. I've grown up not doing that. But if you want to, you can. You can either use a spoon or a vegetable peeler, which is pretty good. You just need a little piece of it. And I'm just going to get that right here. All right. And then you're going to lightly shred it in here just to get some nice, robust flavors. Fresh. That's it. And then we're going to toss that again. And this is how our ginger slaw should look. All right. This is our apple ginger slaw. Okay, and that's going to go in the fridge. You need it to set for about 20 to 30 minutes just to get it nice and chilled. I'm going to put that in there. All right, guys, so then we're going to close up that segment of our cabbage apple ginger slaw, and then we're going to get started on our spaghetti squash soup. All right, we'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. This is my Preventive Health. I know you guys are wondering where I'm from, so I'll tell you. My little accent is from Barbados. Yes, I'm from Barbados, that beautiful island in the Caribbean. I grew up right next to the beach. I have one sister, mom and dad, and that's where I grew up. So now you guys know. All right. So now we're going to get started on our spaghetti squash soup. We have olive oil, so I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in the pot right here. All right, and then I already have my onions and celery cut. About a cup will be good for today. So we're going to add that now to our pot. Let me make sure our heat is right. You always want to make sure that your heat is pretty much adequate because you don't want to either undercook or overcook your stuff. So you're going to add the vegetables to the oil. You hear that nice sizzle. That means the oil is hot and ready. All right. I'm going to get a spoon here to, where did it go? All right, so we're going to stir those up a little bit just to make sure they get a nice color. And you want to have a nice color in these vegetables. Again, we're doing a roasted vegetable and butternut spaghetti squash soup. So we're going to really need to get those flavors in there. All right? Okay, good. So this is our spaghetti squash. What you do is you take out the pits and the seeds from in the inside, add a little salt and pepper. We popped it in the oven again for 20 minutes mostly. So the spaghetti squash is so fun. You see, you can use the fork and shred it a little bit, and it looks like little teeny tiny spaghettis. So that's what we're going to be dealing with today. All right, we're going to keep some of it for garnish, you know, just in case you have friends and family over. You want it to look nice and pretty. You can put it on top of your soup. And what I also did today, guys, is I kept the spaghetti squash seeds. We're going to toast those up and put them on top as well for the garnish. And it gives it a really nice crunch and texture to the soup. So we'll keep stringing this spaghetti squash right now. Let me get that out of there. So I finished shredding my spaghetti squash, and this is what it looks like. You see, it looks like little teeny tiny spaghettis. All right, so what I'm going to do now is give my quick onions and celery a little stir right here. They've gotten a nice little bit of caramelization. I'll try to tilt the pot so you can see it a little bit, so you can see what they look like. They has a nice little brown color, not dark, just nicely caramelized. I'm going to get a little piece of a carrot. I'm going to add this carrot to give some sweetness to the dish. That's what carrots usually do. They get stuff really sweet. So I'm going to dice these very fine. What you want to do is keep your cuts nice and even. That way everything will cook evenly, so to speak. So we're going to add those carrots in there. It gives nice texture again and taste. All right, we're going to stir those up a little bit. And again, something else I always love to add, and you guys would notice this every time I'm cooking, is ginger. Ginger gives a very fresh and nice flavor, and it also brings the taste of the natural dish out. All right, so again, we're going to shred that, add some fresh ginger. Good. I'm going to continue stirring here just for a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is add a little bit of that spaghetti squash. We'll probably use about half a cup of that spaghetti squash that we just shredded. We're going to add it into the pot. All right, and we're going to keep the little bit in here, just about 2 tablespoons roughly, just for garnish. All right, we're going to add 2 cups of water. And you're going to hear that nice sizzle. And that's what you're looking for when you add this water. You're going to have a nice sizzle. We're going to turn the heat up just a little bit to about a medium heat. You don't want it too high. This is going to cause a nice simmer to the dish, right? And there, we're going to stir all our nice ingredients in there. Now, the reason why I did not cover the top is because I want this soup to have a nice thickness to it. All right, and in the meantime, I'm just going to stir this for a little bit and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. And then after the break, we're going to get started on our coconut curry chicken and yellow rice. All right, guys, so welcome back. We're going to get started on our chicken. And right now I have some chicken breasts. These are about 4 skinless chicken breasts already diced. And then we're going to start making our quick rub for the curry chicken. So these 3 chicken breasts that are already diced, they're skinless. You just want to make sure that the curry has a nice, robust flavor. As you can see, our soup is still going and it looks really, really nice. All right, so now we have our curry powder here. This is about 3 tablespoons. So we're going to add like half of that onto the curry chicken. All right, we're going to add a little bit of salt. It's very easy to pre-season stuff so that way when you get into the pot, you know that it's much easier to delegate how much more seasoning you really need. This is cracked black pepper. I love using fresh cracked black pepper. All right, so I'm going to put my gloves on. Always remember sanitation and safety first. So we're going to rub the curried chicken breast together. Try to get that curry coated all over the chicken. That's what's going to make it taste very good. And this is something that my mom used to do for me at home all the time. Curry chicken is one of my favorite dishes. And ladies, if you want to hook a guy, you can use some curry chicken. I'm just saying. All right, so I'm going to grab my pot here. And we're going to get started on this curry chicken. All right. So we're going to make sure again that our pot is at a moderate heat. You want to make sure you have a nice sizzle, and that's what you're looking for. Again, I prefer to use olive oil. You can also use vegetable oil, but I prefer to use olive oil because it's a lot healthier. The light olive oil, so much to speak, is better rather than the extra virgin, which is heavier and it burns quicker. So you want to avoid that. So I added my 2 tablespoons of olive oil. That's just to coat the pan, just enough to get started with our curry chicken. All right. And then we are going to wait till that heats up a little bit. In the meantime, we're going to take a peek at this soup and see how it's going. It's looking good. Let's make one more taste and see if we can get ready to turn that soup off. Perfect. So we're going to turn that off. All right. And in the meantime, while that oil is getting heated, you see the pan is getting hot. So now you want to add the chicken. All right, so we're going to add those chicken breasts. And again, you're listening for that sizzle. As long as you have that sizzle going, you know that everything's going great. All right, and while that's in there, you're going to try to stir it around just a little bit because you don't want it to stick directly to the bottom of the pan. And the reason for that is that curry tends to burn really fast. So you need to make sure that you stir the chicken adequately enough so that the curry doesn't burn or that the chicken doesn't stick. In the meantime, we're going to get our rice started. So we're going to put on another pot, a small pot preferably. This is just about 1 cup of rice. This is yellow rice, and I've already got it done pre-prepped. Now the yellow rice, you can buy it at the supermarket in a bag. This is the reason why the rice is yellow. It's from a spice that we have. This is an interesting spice. It's called saffron. This is one of the most expensive Indian spices or Mediterranean spices in the world, but it's very, very tasty. That's what gives the yellow rice that yellow color. So that's a fun fact to know. All right, so we're going to pay attention a little bit more to this chicken as that pot gets hot for the rice. All right, so we're going to start stirring up the chicken. And again, we want to make sure that it has it's seared, but it has a nice caramel color and still not burning the curry. All right, guys, so we're getting ready to do our rice. Again, keep checking on your chicken. You don't want to burn your curry because then it gets a really bitter flavor. So we're going to add, again, 2 tablespoons of olive oil to our pot to begin our saffron rice. We're going to add the rice in there. I like to get the rice nicely coated. Again, I love to hear that sizzle. That's how you know you're going great. All right, so you add the rice in there just to coat the rice grains with the olive oil and just to get it started. That way the rice is a little bit easier to cook. It opens up the rice grains just a little bit. All right, so that's over there. And now we're going to stir our chicken. It's coating nicely. You know, it has a little bit of color right there. And you don't want to burn it. Keep that in mind. Curry tends to get very bitter. Now, we're going to add some of the coconut water. This is what we're going to use today to make our coconut curry. This is about 10 ounces. So we're just going to add that 10 ounces of coconut water to the curry. There we go. And this coconut water is very fun because it has a little bit of the coconut jelly in there. I'm an island girl, so you would know how we do enjoy the coconut. Yay. All right, so now that that's sitting in there and that's going to simmer for a little bit, I'm going to take the time out to cover the pot, and we're going to pay attention to that. Keep your eye on your curry, keep it covered, and we're going to take a break and come right back to you. All right, guys, welcome back. So now we have our rice going. Let's take a peek at our chicken to see how it looks. And it's coming around very nicely. It smells good. All right, so we're gonna add our water. I prefer to use water. You can use vegetable stock or chicken stock for your rice, but I prefer to use water just because of a lot of dietary complications that we have these days. So we can add a little bit of water to that. That's about a cup, and I'm gonna use a half of cup more to that. Or actually, I'm gonna use the whole cup. That'll go be fine. All right, so then we have our rice on, and that's about to simmer. But before I put the lid on top, I am going to use a little bit of the saffron. You can use at least a pinch of it. This is all you need, just a pinch of that saffron. You see that beautiful color that it has? This is what gives the rice that taste and that yellow color. All right, so we're gonna stir that in there, put the lid back on, and we're gonna finish up our chicken. Since the soup is finished, what we're gonna do is puree half of that soup in the VitaPrep. This is a very nice blender. I would advise you to invest in one. They're very awesome. All right, and then we're gonna check on our chicken. Our chicken is looking nice. You don't want the chicken breast to overcook. Remember, you always want your chicken breast fork tender. So let me take a piece out to show you the definition of fork tender. Now, the definition of fork tender is even with a spoon, I should be able to take my chicken and press down like that. And the chicken is moist. You still see the juices running out, and that's exactly what you want. So at this time, and you realize your chicken is fork tender, you're going to take your time and lower your heat as much as you can. And then we're going to add a little bit of coconut milk. All right. So we're going to use this coconut milk, and we're going to measure out half of a cup. And this is going to give a nice body to the curry chicken. There you go, half of a cup. And with the half of a cup of coconut milk added, then we're gonna go ahead and add our veggies. And the reason why I add the veggies last, guys, is because we still want to give that texture to the dish, and you don't want to overcook your vegetables. When you overcook your veggies, you know you're not getting any nutritional value at all. So you just want to make sure that those vegetables are nice and al dente. We're gonna put the lid on again to make sure it simmers well. We're gonna check our seasoning quite after, and then in the meantime, we're gonna puree our soup. All right, so we have our soup right there. We're gonna get our Vitamix. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to open the top. And then we're going to get a little bit, or at least half of the soup, and pour it into the Vitamix. So now we have our spaghetti squash and veggies, our soup, base into our food processor. So we're going to put the lid on that. And you don't want to have a really smooth puree. I would advise that. You still want to have a little bit of those veggies in there, you know. So you're going to keep it at a low variance, and we're going to turn the dial at least to speed 2. That's good. And we're going to switch it on for a quick second. You could count to like 10 seconds, preferably. That's perfect. 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. And then if you realize that the consistency to use it how you want, again, you know, the higher you put the variance on the speed, depending on if you want a thicker soup, then you can do that. All right, and then we're going to get a little taste to make sure this is nice. That is so good. Okay. I'm just going to give it a little more blend because I want the texture to be just right. So I'm going to probably do that for another 10 seconds. And that's perfect. All right, and that's our soup. So we're going to place it over here. Let's get a dish to put it in, you know, to give it a nice little display for our soup today. I think it's going to be really good, and everybody's going to enjoy it. So this is our soup bowl. And since it's already hot, guys, we don't really need to heat it up. So we're going to pour it nicely into the bowl. Look at that beautiful color. Nice veggies. We're going to put this back over here. And remember I said that we're going to use the spaghetti, the remainder of the spaghetti squash to garnish the soup. And that's what we're going to do. Place it right there in the middle. And I already have the spaghetti squash seeds in the oven toasting. So that's what I'm going to pull out now. Okay. So they have a nice, beautiful brown color. We're going to pull those out. They already have a nice little bit of salt and pepper on there. We're just going to take those nice toasty seeds to give, again, texture That's what we're looking for, and there we go. All right. So that is our spaghetti squash and vegetable soup. Okay. All right, so now our chicken, we have to take a look at it. It seems to be done, but we will check the flavor. We want to make sure that it's all good. Seasoning is correct. The vegetables look nice. And that is perfect. All right, so our soup is finished. Our chicken is finished. We're going to get ready to plate in a second, and that's it. So now we're going to start looking at the rice because it's just about finished. We'll probably need a little, like 5 more minutes. Probably less, probably like 2 or 3. You see how the saffron gave the rice that nice yellow color? That's exactly what we're looking for. We know that it was added perfectly. The texture is good. The taste is good. The smell is nice. And then we're going to get our curried coconut chicken. We're going to add that right now to our dish. Ooh. So we're just going to go in there, stir it a little bit. And the vegetables are nicely cooked. I'm going to place it right in the center of the dish. Those nice veggies. Place it right and mount that chicken in there. Right. And we're going to get a spoon to put a little bit of the sauce around it. Put a little bit of the sauce just around it very nicely. And again, I love presentation. So what we're going to do next is just do a little bit of a garnish. And I love the fresh spring onion, so that's what we're going to use. Some fresh spring onion. Put that on there. And a little bit of red bell peppers. These are red mini bell peppers. So they're not hot, they're actually pretty sweet. I'm gonna add that to the dish. Nice, doesn't that look nice, guys? And I know you're proud of yourself today. And we're gonna do a little bit of cleaning up around the rim of the plate. Again, presentation is key. The food needs to look delicious. And this is our yellow rice with vegetable coconut curry chicken. We have our apple cabbage slaw. And then we have our beautiful spaghetti squash soup. All right, you have 3 wonderful dishes, under the budget, not time consuming, and delicious. And what I would advise to you guys, if you want a little zest, you can just squeeze a little bit of fresh lemon over that curry coconut chicken.
Well, welcome back to My Preventive Health. Today I've got the pleasure of introducing our gorgeous chef, Miss Monique Barrow.
Thank you.
Monique, I've been sitting on the side watching you work your magic. These dishes are beautiful, and I'm sure they're as delicious as they are beautiful.
They are delicious,
yeah.
Doc.
And tell us, you're going to be very popular on your show, and I'm sure I can tell you.
I will be.
For the audience, I can tell you that you've got a lot more of these shows to come. Monique, can you tell us a little bit about what we have here? Before I gobble it all up.
Well, thank you, Dr. Lane, first of all, for the introduction. And also, I'd like to say today what our focus was just about preparation time, eating healthy, and keeping within your daily budget. Okay. So I started off today with showing the guys how to prepare a spaghetti squash and vegetable soup.
The garni is wonderful.
Yes, so we have a little bit of chives or scallion on there, the toasted butternuts, the toasted spaghetti squash seeds, and then we're going to move on over here to our cabbage slaw tossed in a apple ginger vinaigrette with some freshly julienne of apples. Wow. And then our entree, which I think would be the favorite of today, would be the yellow rice with the coconut curry chicken.
And the colors contrast so vividly here.
So vibrant, aren't they?
Can I have a little bit?
Of course you can. As a matter of fact, Dr. Lane, let's give you a bite.
I've been sitting watching you prepare this.
Let's get you a bite.
I'm anxious to try it.
Yes, let's get you a taste. Yeah.
And how long was this preparation time?
Actually 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
So a housewife could come home and
whip this all up.
And whip this all up. Oh.
And then to take it down, we have a little bit of white wine, if you must, a nice little bit of Chardonnay.
And there's curry This curry flavor.
So good.
Oh my God, the flavor is just delicious. You have to try this at home. You have to try this at home. You really have to try this. This is awesome.
It's so good.
I'm setting this aside, Monique, but please don't take it because I intend to eat it when I come
I'll
back.
leave it all for you.
Right? So we're gonna. This has been a real pleasure having you.
Thank you.
You ladies, if you want this recipe, you go to www.mypreventivehealth.com. You'll see the recipe for this great dish, and then all of Monique's recipes will be coming along.
Yep.
And you can find this right there at www.mypreventivehealth.com. I look forward to having you on all of our future shows.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We will definitely be there.
Right.